Hi, I'm Sammataro. I go to Clark Lane Middle School in Waterford, Connecticut. I'm right down the road. So as you can see from the screen behind me, the topic that I'd like to talk about today is the future of the community. Now, when I think about the future of the community, I can see many different things. But the three most important things that come to mind is the advances that we're going to have in transportation, the advances we're going to have in our school system, and the advances that we're going to have in our health. So like I said, one of the first advances that I see is advances in our transportation and how it's going to become better. Now, first thing I'd like to address is that I see electric cars. Electric cars to me are very important. They're not only helping the environment, but they're helping people save money and helping the economy as well as helping our environment. So now, there's two kinds of electric vehicles. There's hybrids, which are half gas, half electric, and full electric, which run completely on electric. Now, carbon monoxide is a greenhouse gas which is emitted from gasoline-powered cars. Now, greenhouse gases trap in heat into our atmosphere, and while carbon monoxide, which is released from cars, is not directly very harmful, it can remain in the atmosphere for a long period of time, and it can travel over a large area while combining with other greenhouse gases to make them stronger. Now, with these electric cars, it can help limit the amount of carbon monoxide that we're putting into our atmosphere, which is very helpful in cities like Tokyo and New York City, where gasoline and carbon monoxide is a very large threat to people. So, as you can see, this is just a list of companies right now that are having a line of electric vehicles. Many of you are probably going to recognize some of them. They're pretty big brands. Now, these electric vehicles, they're actually an industry waiting to happen, and many people are getting ready to invest in them, because not only do I see the advances in these, but the car companies do see it too, and they're helping to create a better environment. Now, as you can see, these are also the companies Hyundai and Chrysler. They're coming up with their own lines of electric vehicles for people to use, because, like I said earlier, many car companies are beginning to invest in these because they see a future in this. Now, not only in electric vehicles do I see advantages in our transportation, but I see solar roadways. Now, the way that these panels work, as the name implies, they have solar panels. Now, they produce energy, so if there's a parking lot made out of these solar panels, they can produce energy that goes to the local shops and businesses nearby, which are cutting down on the amount of energy that we're using, like fossil fuels. Now, they also have LED lights, which are completely reprogrammable, which eliminates the need to paint lines on top of these panels, and that's saving people from having to go through road work when people are repainting these lines. It's also nice because you can have this parking lot, and you can completely change the interface of the parking lot at a moment's notice, because these LEDs are completely reprogrammable. Now, they also have pressure sensors, which utilize the feature of LEDs in them, because if something starts walking onto a crosswalk and the driver can't see it, the crosswalk will then illuminate, warning the driver that there's something crossing the road, which can save people from getting hit by cars and accidents. Now, we're in New England, and one of the big things that we have here is snow. Now, snow is very hard to get off the road. It's very hard work, and we also have to waste tax money on salt and plows to come and clear it for us. Well, these panels eliminate the need for this work because they have heat, which can be radiated up into the streets, and that can melt the snow that's on the streets and irrigate the water off to the side. And lastly, they're also made out of recycled materials. People are looking to recycle almost anything and everything they can, which is very helpful because the complete bottom paneling of these panels are completely made out of recycled garbage. So that way, we're taking garbage out of our landfills and using them to use in our roads. Now, that concludes the section of the advances in our transportation. And the next big advancement that I see is in our school system. Now, as you can see, that's the Vigo system. It's interacting with students in elementary school. Now, most of you may have seen the Vigo system in the Verizon commercials, which have been a way back. But pretty much all Vigo is, it's a system that replaces a student's presence in a school. Now, it also features two-way cameras and microphones so students can interact with peers and teachers at their school. And they also have lights so students can blink, so the teacher knows that they're trying to interact with the students and interact with the teachers and the questions while they're at home. They're completely controlled remotely, so it's eliminating the need for students to attend if they're posing a threat to the school environment, such as I know Ebola is a big concern now, or enterovirus, and also even if the school environment is posing a threat to them. I know when I first read about these, it was someone with an extreme peanut allergy, so they replaced their presence with a Vigo system to protect themselves from being exposed to peanuts. Now, that's pretty much it. It's just a completely innovative way of replacing a student's presence, and not only is it helping the students, it's also helping the students that are in the school environment to help keep it safe. So now lastly, another last big advancement that I see is in our technology and in our health. Now one of the big ways that I see this is in wearable tech. Now many of you may have seen that, I know Apple's coming out with their own line of iWatches, and Samsung, Microsoft, and Nike, they all have theirs. Now the way that this works, it's tracking a person's physical activity from a 24/7 perspective, which many doctors have not had the privilege to do previously. Now you just wear this and it can track things like your blood pressure, it can track glucose, it can track all these things that doctors may need to know to help give you a better and more accurate diagnosis. Now currently testing, as you can see on the bottom bullet point, the Mayo Clinic is actually teaming up with Apple, so when the iWatch is released, Apple will correspond with people using the Mayo Clinic. Now what the Mayo Clinic is, it's just a regular health clinic, but now they're going to have the information that people have from a 24/7 perspective, like I said earlier, give an accurate and better diagnosis to these people who are having symptoms. So that concludes my thing. That concludes my little presentation thing. Okay, so there it is. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'd like to thank you all, and before I go, I'd like to leave you with just one last question. Are you going to be the ones that make this happen, or are you just going to sit down and watch? Because without you, this can't happen. You are the ones who are going to make this happen. Thank you for your time.